1. Hello, everybody. My name is Culblu, and I'm bringing you guys yet another Casters Network Presents a Cast That Interview. And this one is just like the other ones because it's a caster who's getting interviewed, or esports related person getting interviewed. And well, we're just gonna go ahead and go down the list of the typical things. If you guys haven't seen the other interviews, go check them out. But this one is gonna be probably an awesome one because I have somebody with me whose name is actually SB Revolution 5, but we just call him Revo because that's much shorter. So Revo, would you like to go ahead and say hello to all the beautiful people out there, please?
Hey guys, how's it going?
It is going great, presumably for everybody who's watching this video. Or maybe this
I
is the
hope
thing that
so.
cheers them up. Maybe it's the thing that cheers them up because it'll be awesome because they get to hear the sultry sound of my voice. I mean, your voice.
Yeah.
Yes? No? Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get things going. Let's go and start with our first question, which is the introduction. So, Reva, would you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about yourself in real life? You don't have to get specific or anything, but, just a general idea of, like, what you work in, what major you have, if you have a
Well,
girlfriend who has red hair.
yeah. Well, for one thing, I do have a girlfriend who has red hair. She's wonderfully beautiful, and
Mm-hmm.
major shout out to her, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm SP Revolution 5. My real name is Seth, but I'd rather you call me Revo or SP Revolution 5, but probably just Revo, since the other one's a mouthful. In real life, I am a college student, currently studying music composition and a little bit in piano performance. And I'm wanting to actually eventually become an orchestral conductor, if possible.
Mm,
Yeah.
fancy.
But for now, I'm casting Dota, and I'm loving every minute of it. Did I miss anything in there?
Oh no, not really. I mean, that's actually a really quick question.
Go ahead.
Because everybody who's seen free to play knows that Dindy plays piano or played piano when he was younger, and he's like
Yes.
super pro elite. And his mom actually said that she feels that piano helped him out with his gaming stuff. So, do you feel that your piano playing has helped you with your gaming as far as Dota goes?
A little bit. I feel like they both kind of distract from each other, but sometimes
Mm-hmm.
in a good way because it gives me a break from
Mm-hmm.
working too hard on one thing.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and end that question there because, well, we got a lot of questions to go, and we'll probably spend like 20 hours. We can talk all day here, guys, because Cool Blue likes to talk and Revo likes to talk as well. So,
Yeah.
next question I'm actually because that is a very interesting name. Like I said at the very beginning, your name is actually SB Revolution 5.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that name from?
Well, SB is my initials, so that part was easy.
Mm-hmm.
Revolution I got because I like to think of myself as different.
Mm-hmm.
As a revolutionary person, and kind of taking revolutionary ideas in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
5 came from, well, AIM apparently had 4 other SB revolutions. So they said, here, take this one. And I was like, okay,
Hmm.
sure.
So you put all those things together and you get SB Revolution 5?
Yeah. And it just stuck, so.
Okay. It seems like a good way to get a name. I mean, if the first one doesn't work, then might as well go for the fifth one.
Yeah.
That is all that matters. All right. So also just really fast, I want to do this up front so people can know. If they want to find your stuff, what is the best way to find you? What's the best way to follow you?
You can, of course, follow me on twitch.tv/SBRevolution5, on Twitter at SBRevolution5, and on Facebook at SBRevolution5Dota. The Facebook page is probably where I'll post the most stuff. So, Twitch and Facebook are probably the primary ways, but I also use the Twitter quite a bit.
Okay. And YouTube? Not using YouTube at all?
I'm using a bit of YouTube. It is under SBRevolution5, so you can find me there. There's a couple VODs up there and some Let's Play stuff, but not that much yet, so.
So best way is for Facebook for all your updates and Twitch is
Yeah.
for all your videos.
Yep.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. All right. Now let's move on to the next question. How did you get into video games? Because everybody has a story, oh, I was playing with my grandpa and he passed away when I was playing Mario Kart, so I play Mario Kart all the time and I play Dota now. Or something more along the lines of normal, which is like, oh yeah, I kind of grew up with them. So how exactly did you get into video games?
Well, apparently I started using the computer at like a very young age, and
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of learned it on my own. Um, My mom is very conservative, and before I say any of this, I want to just clarify, I love my mom to death. She's the best in the world. But she didn't want me playing video games for a long time, because she was afraid they were going to mess me up or turn me on to more mature things way too early. So
Right.
I really didn't start playing video games until I was about 4th or 5th grade, I want to say. Maybe. Maybe
Which
even later than
places you
that.
about like
I'm
9
not
or 10?
100% sure.
That places you about 9 or 10 at that age, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
And I had a PS2, and I played a lot of Spyro.
Nice. Good
Like, that
game.
was the only game I had, and I played it inside and out every single day. Eventually, like, I got into high school, I played a lot of Call of Duty. I was really bad. Like, I want to say on Modern Warfare 3, my lifetime KD was like .13. It was
Sounds
like
legit.
awful. Like 1 in 10 lives, I might get a kill. Maybe, if I was
So
lucky. Now,
So you were the target that I shot every single time.
pretty much. It was like I finally got the care package kill streak award. Oh my god, I'm the best. This is my best game ever.
It's like,
Like-
oh my gosh, I finally got a UAV. No.
No, the UAV was rare now.
Oh, okay.
The
I'm
one
thinking
game
the
where
first
I
one,
actually
right.
had like a seriously positive KD, I probably like took a picture and framed it or something. But eventually that led to me starting to play TF2 on actually a MacBook at the time. And as I was getting out of high school, I decided that for graduation I wanted to get like a gaming laptop. So I did, and then that summer I got into Dota, and I've pretty much never looked back.
Okay, so you basically went from starting playing games at a younger age, like Spyro, and then you went to Modern Warfare, and then somehow led you to Dota?
Yeah, it's a bit of a different road.
Okay. So before you ask it, just for the record, how did you get into Dota?
Honestly, I just liked Valve's games. And I heard they were making this game called Dota, and I'm like, what is this? I honestly tried to look up Dota 1, and I actually typed it out as Dota 1, because I didn't know anything about it. And so I'm looking up this stuff, and it's all very vague on Wikipedia and whatnot, and I'm like, what is this game? I don't know. So I go to sign up for the beta, because they're like, well, sign up for the beta, and we want people of all experience levels, and I'm like, well, okay. They asked me how many hours I'd played, and I was like, yeah, none. And there wasn't an option for none. It was like 20 to 40. Like, they assumed that everyone had played some sort of Dota, and I'm like, nope, none. So I just selected like 20. They asked me what my favorite hero was, and I start browsing the list of heroes, and I'm like, goodness, there are a lot of characters in this game. And the only thing I could even relate to was Sniper, because I'd played a Sniper in Call of Duty. So I'm like, okay, that's my most played hero. The other two, I don't even know what I picked. But I honestly see Valve looking at that and saying, this kid has absolutely no experience. What if we let him in the beta? Yeah, let's do it. And so, like, a few weeks later, I got an invitation into the beta, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, oh, cool, new game, it's free. This will be great. And, oh god, it was bad. I'm gonna actually see if I can find my Dota buff, like my first match ever. Here, real quick.
And while you do that, while you search for that, I'm also gonna let Revo know that I sent you the questions, the interview questions, because I forgot to do that earlier. In the Skype chat that we're in. And for everybody who's watching, like I said, there's a lot of other interviews out there that we've done. Go check those out after you check out this one. And Revo, his links will be posted in the description below, and any other extra links that I mentioned that we'll throw in a link, because why not? Just throw in more descriptions, throw in more links in the description to have fun with that.
Oh, this
so
is ugly.
Hopefully that was enough time for Revo to go find his very first match, so you can tell us.
I was Ancient Apparition. At the end of a 33-minute, 3-second game, I made it to level 6 at least.
Ow.
The next
so you're only level
on my
6?
team is 11. Now, oddly enough, I only went 0 and 8. Like, the level 11 guy went 0 and 12, so I didn't even have the most deaths, which is abnormal for today. I had 7 whole last hits. I was playing Ancient Apparition, and I actually got boots and a magic wand. So, the first one wasn't that bad. It was the next couple that were really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because my third match ever, I played Invoker.
Whoa. Oh,
Because I was
jeez.
like,
No.
I don't know
Why
what
did
I'm
you
doing,
torch
so I
it?
just hit the random button. And then I played this hero called Invoker. I literally got to level 4. Level
Yeah.
4.
That's conducive to winning the game, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Now, somehow there's a Kunka on the other team who was also level 4, so I'm assuming someone abandoned the game at some point here. But I also
Okay.
had no items at
Mm-hmm.
all at the end of this game, and I'm like, how in the
So
world
what
did
do I
this
buy?
happen?
Why do I need items when I can't even get spells? No.
Yeah, I think that was actually my philosophy, though. I was sitting here like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, these are not spells, these are balls of light. Well, balls. You know? So
Doesn't get
after
ultimate.
this,
Oh.
I played so many bot matches it wasn't even funny.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which
then,
I definitely do agree with. I definitely do agree. I play a lot of bot matches too.
yeah. There was a point where I went with the usual pub thing, and I played Drow and Riki, and there's a point, I think, yeah, about 2 or 3 months in where I started playing Ursa. And I played Ursa
Mm-hmm.
religiously. Like, every game, first pick Ursa, go into the jungle, come out 10 minutes with a mech, or of Vlad's, go to Roche, kill him, go kill 3
See,
people on the enemy team, lose my Aegis.
my question, but my question actually was how exactly did you get into Dota? Was it just the beta thing, or was it the whole entire playing hero thing? Like, basically, how did you find out about Dota to get into it? You just randomly saw the beta thing?
I pretty much. I
Okay,
heard
okay.
that Valve was making it, and I said, okay, well, it must be something good.
And you were basing off like the Half-Life series and Team Fortress series?
And Portal, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Because
That's a legit reason.
the
All
only
right.
game I'd played of theirs that I didn't exactly enjoy was Counter-Strike because I'm bad at shooters. But
Flashbacks
do?
came back to you. Very true. All right, so we're going to move on to the next set of questions. And guys who are wondering, there's a slight bit of delay between our conversations because I'm
yeah,
on a subpar internet solution for right now because the network in our house is getting fixed, hopefully. And yeah, that's going
You
to
can
happen.
dream,
So anyway,
can't we?
we'll continue on through. We'll continue on through with a slight delay. Hopefully it won't be too bad in the end.
yeah.
But the next section, Revo, is actually what is your favorite thing about Dota?
Honestly, it's probably metagame.
Mhm.
Because I'd never really played a game before Dota that had a continuously evolving cycle of, okay, this is strong, so we need to come up with something to counter that. Because, like, I mean, you take the Call of Duty thing, yeah, this gun's strong, so it's not like there's only one of those in the world. I picked that gun, you
Right.
picked that gun, and all of a sudden we're all using the same gun. Which is kind of the opposite of metagame. Rather, here it's like, okay, so Sniper's a good hero. What counters Sniper? Heroes that can get in his face, like Clockwork. So Sniper falls out of the metagame, but heroes like Clockwork are still in there, so what counters them? Well, heroes with Silence, like Puck and, well, Silencer.
Right.
Just as a basic
So basically, having all the different flavors of the week, I guess. Like it's always something
Yeah.
new, even though it's the same exact thing.
And the drafting process as well really mystified me once I really got into Dota.
How so?
Just because of the fact that there are so many options, and in a way, there's always like a right draft.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Okay.
always something that's intrigued me about competitive Dota. Like, about a year ago, there were games that I would just watch the draft and then just not watch the real game because I wasn't nearly as interested as I was in the picks and bans.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a strange phase. Then I realized
So
there's
you
action
see-
going on in the game. I should pay attention to that.
But back in those earlier dark days, you basically saw Chin and Pudge picked up and said, "Okay, these guys won," and then walked away.
Not exactly. But it's
Okay.
kind of, I would play it out in my head as to, okay, well, if this happens and this hero is picked, then who wins that? Like, I'll still do that to this day, but I'll go back and watch the game. Like, this morning before I was going to take a shower, I watched a draft of some game, and then hopped in the shower. When I got out, I could see how it was going and see if my theory crafting lined up with how it was actually going.
And was it accurate or was it a little bit off?
Depends on the day. I don't even remember.
Depends
this
on
morning.
the. I would agree it's
Sometimes
best to put
I'm
on there
like
because there
on
are
point,
many
and sometimes
times.
I'm so far off it's not even funny, which is great as a caster, right?
Sometimes. I mean, if you say, "Oh my gosh, they picked this push strat. It's going to end in 10 minutes," and then it turns out to be like a 50-minute game. Yeah, that's sometimes fun.
Yeah.
All right. So next set of questions will be the quick response section. So Revo, do you know how this quick response section works?
I believe I do.
Can we pretend you don't so I get to explain the rules?
Oh yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, we get to explain the rules. All right, guys. Quick response section is very complicated, very, very top secret, and nobody knows about it except for the people who've done interviews in the past and the people who watch those interviews. But if you guys do not know how the quick response section works, basically I ask a question, Revo answers as fast as he can, and that's it.
Very
Complicated
complex.
stuff, right? Mind
Yeah.
blown, right?
I don't
All
know
right,
if
so
I
let's
can
go ahead and
handle
get
this.
through. So this whole entire section is about favorite things. That's what it's always about. So Revo, favorite hero,
Queen of Pain.
favorite courier,
The Star Ladder Grillhound.
favorite team,
Alliance. Or
favorite
CNB.
favorite caster,
Revo. No, AC, actually. Guilty pleasure.
favorite event,
Either TI3 or the Dota 2 League. Like the D2L League.
favorite color,
I like them all, but black?
favorite number,
5.
favorite book,
Ooh. The Bible.
favorite room in your house.
This one? This
What
is
is
a
this
dorm,
one?
so...
So your room in your dorm.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, favorite class,
Ooh. Composition lessons.
and because you play piano, favorite scale.
Ugh.
No pressure. Your piano teacher's listening right now.
I'll go with the Lydian mode because that's what I'm writing a piece in right now.
Okay,
And
that
no one's
works.
gonna
I
know
don't
what
know.
that is unless you're a music major,
Yeah.
so...
I have zero clues. All I know is that there are scales in music, so it must apply to pianos. And actually, pianos is kind of where it came from. But anyway, okay, so there you go. That's in this quick response section. I would say you did pretty well.
It was a little slow, I'll be honest.
No, it's fine. It's all about the you respond and we keep going, as opposed to we banter about it. Which is what we're going to do about the next part, because I want to know, how did you get into casting? Because it's a huge jump. A lot of people don't notice this, but when you start off as a person who plays Dota, you just play Dota, and you might watch Purge, or Shiver, or Toby, or LD, or Luminous cast, and that's it. You just watch them cast, say, oh my gosh, Lumi, why'd you miss the first blood? And you complain about it, and you make a Reddit post, and you complain every single time.
OMG,
But when you
Lumi,
actually
actually
transition
worse than
into
Hitler.
somebody, when you actually transition into somebody who actually does the casting, it's a lot of work involved as far as making material, make sure you say the right things, make sure you don't make the wrong people mad, and it's really crazy. So how exactly did you get into casting, and what exactly was it that pushed you to casting? It's kind of the same question.
Well, honestly, we could go back to like a year ago when I was playing pubs, and I'd keep getting this comment like, dude, can you shut up? Can you just calm down? Because I am very, very talkative. Like, I'm that one kid in your class that's always like, yes, I have the answer because I just am bored here, I want to talk. Okay, this. Like, it's to the point where half the time I'm not even raising my hand, and I'm not even realizing that I'm doing it because I'm just, like, talking.
Right.
It's almost, well, it can be bad in situations. But I began to realize that since I have such a love for the game and such a insatiable hunger for talking, that casting was kind of a natural fit. So over like last summer, I tried to do some casting, quote unquote. I had set up a stream in OBS that I now find out didn't work at all. And then I remember there was one game, I want to say it was like Alliance's last game of the group stage at TI3. And I was like, I'm going to cast this. And it was like a 20-minute stomp. Like, and I remember I did get one viewer because Shiver was casting it.
Right.
And she'd left her overlay up. And this one guy was like, I'm done with this. I'm finding another stream. And he found mine, and he was like, you're okay. And I had no clue what I was doing. For the first 5 minutes, or the first 2 or 3 minutes of the draft, my screen was just black because I was running in full screen mode, not windowed full screen.
Oh, wow.
And I had no clue.
Right.
And so, like, that happened, and I'm like, well, that didn't go well. And that wasn't very fun because I was way in over my head. And so I messed around with it some, I want to say. And then around September, October, I'm just browsing Reddit, as you do, because you're bored. And I see
hold on. And hold on, Revo. Really quickly for time reference, because I know it's going to be in the future when a lot of people watch this. It is actually April of the next year. So September and October will be, like, what, 6 months back?
About. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyways, I remembered I was getting dinner and I'm reading along on Reddit and I see this other casters needed for tournament. Or other language casters needed for tournament. The guy clearly didn't speak English very well, but I figured, what the heck, no one's responded to him yet. And it was like a 2-hour-old post. I'm like, this guy needs somebody. So I messaged him and I'm like, hey, I am completely amateur, but I'd love to give it a shot if I could. And he's like, yeah, we'll set up a time to, like, do a Skype interview and we'll see how you do. The interview actually went really well. He had me cast a clip from TI2 of the play. And, like, I knew the clip, but it was like throwing this at me. And he's saying, here, cast this for me live. I'm like, and I'm not going to lie, that was the worst cast ever. It was so bad. If I'd heard it and I'd been him, I would have been like, dude, go home. You're awful. We don't want you. And he was like, no,
go drunk, you're home.
You've got a little potential here. Because I, like, stuttered through half of it. I was like, and the song is, what? And the Enigma, what's that spell called? The one with the hole that's black. Yeah, black hole. But by that time the clip was, like, over. It was so bad. And he said, no, go ahead. And so this was for the Megalodon Cup. And that's when I found out this was Brazilian Dota. And I'm thinking, oh god, I've played with Brazilians. They aren't good. They're bad.
Relative to the stereotype, relative to the hold on, just to clarify, relative to the stereotype, that is true in some sense, but keep in mind that all of these are the words of Revo. This is not the words of Castnet, so we're not trying to offend anybody. Revo understands that people might get offended by that, blah blah blah. Insert legal mumbo jumbo here. So continue.
Yeah, and so that was kind of my mindset going into it. And so he gave me a week to, like, prepare, sent me the dates and everything, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be fun. And the first game comes up, and it was with, I want to say, Insight, the team then. They had a almost completely different lineup at that point than they do today, but they blew me away in terms of, like, wow, these plays and these players are fantastic. Like, I realized I was completely wrong about Brazilians. I was stereotyping. I was almost being racist in a sense, and I was like, that's awful of you. Don't do that, you idiot. And so I go on, I cast this tourney. I just pulled in a friend or two as co-caster, and, like, they were as new as I was. They had no clue what was going on. And I don't even know how many viewers we had during that tournament. Probably like 5 or 6. But I remember Toy Me from ESL TV Brazil, he pulled me aside at one point, and, well, not on Skype then. And he said, I watched some of your casting, and I was like, yeah? Oh, God, he's going to tell me I'm awful. And he's like, no, I really, really enjoyed it. He actually compared me to Toby, and I was like, what?
Nice.
Huh? You're... Are you serious right now? And he's like, yeah, you're doing really good. You're going somewhere. And I'm like, okay, so months go by, and eventually I get this message from these people that are talking about this Zotac Star League. Right. It is this, like, it sounds almost like a myth. It's going to be the biggest Brazilian tournament there's ever been. There's going to be a $5,000, like, U.S. prize pool.
Nice. That's really good for a prize pool.
Yeah. And then they say, we can pay you. And I'm like, wait, what?
Whoa.
you can pay me? You want to pay me? And they're like, yeah, we can probably pay you. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And so I talked to my parents about it, and they're like, this seems a little shady. I'm like, well, even if they don't pay me, I'm probably going to do it. So I might as well
Right.
accept the money. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that has just exploded into huge stuff. We've actually got the playoffs for that coming up this weekend, which are going to be outstanding. They're actually over the next 3 weekends, but the
Mm-hmm.
round of 16 is this weekend. And that's where I really got in with Swag and Tiger at that time, but now they're known as CMB Esports Club. And those guys really helped me get my name out there. There was one night they shared my stream, and I went up from, I want to say, like 8 viewers to 200 viewers in the course of 5 minutes.
Nice.
Like, this
Really
is
nice.
like if Alliance said, we like this caster, go watch him, and everyone said,
Mhm.
okay, we're going there right now. We're leaving the Brazil streams that we know and love. We don't even speak his language, half of us, and we're going to go watch him. And I was just honestly taken aback by it. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there was a point about a week from that time where I had more viewers than P-Flax at one moment, and I'm like, are you serious? How
It was
does
a
this
very
even
humbling experience
happen?
for you.
Huh?
It was a very humbling experience for you.
Yes, it was. I was like, I don't deserve this at all, because I'm not. I know, like, I'm not as good as those guys. Like, I have what 2,700 MMR. Like, I'm bad. But
Right.
it was a really wild turn of events to think that 6 months ago, no one knew who I
Mhm.
was, and now, like, I go into chat rooms on Twitch, and it's like, oh, hey, it's Revo, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? It's kind of nice, but it's a lot of pressure that comes with it as well, I think, because I now know that if I'm casting, somebody's probably watching, and I need to be on my A game, which is,
Either that or something close to it.
yeah, which has been really hard, but a lot of people have helped me out along the way. Poketo, for instance, has been really, really helpful. PDS, who I haven't actually been able to talk to in a while, and of course, Wadka, he's the guy who gave me the initial job and interview, and
Mm-hmm.
he was so helpful and so encouraging through all of it. And honestly, if it hadn't been for him, I probably never would have done this, which would be
Yes.
quite a loss for me.
Yes, and actually, we have somebody in your chat. I don't know if you read it, but Half was
Oh.
asking about that question. But first, I'm going to ask you about that. I'm going to ask you about that, but I'm not going to ask you yet. The question actually first is, I'm actually going to skip over the how long have you been casting? Wait, no, okay, yeah, that's a good question. How long have you been casting for Brazilian Dota? Because you mentioned before that you casted the Brazilian scene, so you have a little bit more insight into that. So
Yeah, it's been about
how long have you been casting exactly?
It's been about 6 months or so since October, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've seen the metagame shift a lot in that time, simply because I remember at the beginning, Weaver was the top pick for them. It was
Right.
first pick Weaver every time, and now Weaver has faded off a bit, and the metagame is just in a strange place. We've seen Axe like seriously enter the metagame in the past week, and it's been crazy, but so exciting at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But I've really grown to like the Brazilian scene, and one of the nice things is it's kind of like, oh, there's no other English casters covering this, so I'm the top Brazilian Dota caster. There we go. I'm the top of the totem pole. It's a tiny totem pole, but I'm still at the top.
You're the first one in. You're the first one in.
Yeah. And so getting my foot in the door with them, building those relationships really helped out. And it's been great because now it's starting to get real interest. Like, it's looking like CMB could possibly even be at TI4. Even if they're just on the wild card match. Like, it's a possibility. And that's like, I'm sitting here thinking, wow, I know these guys. I kind of helped make that happen. In a way.
And so, and like just to take a step back from interview mode to just normal Culblu mode, you mentioned CMB a lot, and CMB is a new up and coming team along with PBS or eHug and all of them. But the thing about those two teams specifically is that they played in the Sunday Evening Cup series as well because they're North
Yeah.
American. Well, they're that region teams, North American, South American teams. So I had the opportunity of being an admin for the SECS for a while, and I actually got to cast both of those guys week after week and just see them grow. And then to hear the names getting this big, I definitely feel the same connection that you feel. It's like, oh my gosh, CMB is doing stuff, eHug is doing stuff. This is amazing. So.
Did you hear though this past weekend that Klotz has left the team?
No, so, wait, did you post about that in the
I
chat? Was that
briefly
you? Or was
did.
that somebody else?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's left the team because he's going back to school and whatnot, and I'm proud of him. But I told him on Steam, I'm like, I'm gonna miss you, man, because he's such a player. Like,
Uh-huh.
um,
Making those plays happen.
yeah. But honestly, in a way, like seeing that team grow, seeing the lineup change too, it's like, okay, well, Klotz is leaving the team, but there are like kind of bad things that he brings to the team too. Like he can be too aggressive, and having a fresh blood in there that might be a little more level-headed could really be good for them and just be the change they need. You know, not that Klotz is a bad player by any means.
You said as far as like being too eager to do things too fast relative to the game, or as far as all chat goes.
In the game.
Oh,
like
okay, in game. So like he's a little bit quicker to jump the gun. Like maybe you try to throw it early stun before people are ready, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Okay. So that's a good way to bring these up. I'm going to ask you the next question as well. How has the Brazilian scene, specifically the Brazilian scene, because like I said, you're involved with the Brazilian scene. How has it evolved from when you began inside of it to where it's at now?
Goodness, it has just grown like wildfire. Like, for instance, with the Star League, we had 2 qualifiers to get our 32 teams. And there were, I want to say, about 32 teams in each of those qualifiers. And, like, 6 months ago, I don't think you could scrape together 64 Brazilian Dota teams. Like, that were serious about getting better. I really don't. Like, it was like 20 of them max. And so when these guys come up and say, hey, we've got lots of money that we want to put into this scene, and we want you to basically fight over it, people are like, let's get a team together now. We can be great, we can get this money, we can get paid, and we can do what we love doing it. So, why not?
Yeah, and it sounds like... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say it sounds like a great thing, but I actually want to stop you there and ask you this question so I can follow up with something a little bit nicer at the end. Because this is the nature of things that are, well, a business as far as I understand it. Esports is a business. And there are people who want to do certain things, and when views don't line up, things happen. So I'll ask you directly, because I know you're involved in Brazilian Dota. I know you're involved with the ESL TV Brazil as well. There was a recent Reddit article posted, like, I think a week ago. I think you guys posted, or no, Pokecho posted it or something like that.
I didn't post it, but yeah, Pokecho did.
Yeah, that was posted, and basically what it said was, it was a long, super long letter. And actually me and Dragon Drop and I, Culblu and Dragon Drop went through the video, and we dissected each paragraph, and it literally took us 2 hours to do that. And that was fun, but oh my gosh, we're retired. And then we did a TLDW afterwards. So you guys can check those out. Those links we posted below. Culblu promoted his own stuff, my bad. But it's ESL TV Brazil loses casters read-through, and ESL TV Brazil loses casters TLDW. Those 2 videos. Sorry, that's plugs for the viewers. Sorry, Revo. But the question I asked you, because you have a lot more inside information than we actually do. All we had was that letter to go by. What exactly happened in that whole entire situation? Because from what we obtained, there was some casters who wanted to do things to promote themselves, but the ESL TV wanted to promote the whole entire scene. They wanted to help build the scene, and the casters weren't willing to line their views directly with ESL TV. So something happened, and then everybody said, "No, screw this. We're leaving."
Yeah.
So what exactly happened relative to your perspective?
Well, I honestly try to stay out of a lot of the politics of it, because I'm friends with pretty much all of those guys. So getting on the bad side of one of them would be something I wouldn't want to happen for my reputation, but also because I like them and they're nice guys and everything. So what I think basically it was a bit of a disagreement between Poketo and the head of ESL Brazil, Joe, Joow. And they have both encouraged me right from the start, and to this day, I still keep in contact with them, obviously. But something basically happened where the contract wasn't being fulfilled or paid for the casters, and the casters weren't happy with it, so they said, okay, we're out of here. We're done. We're not going to deal with it. We're not going to try to cause a bunch of drama. We're just going to leave, and you can pay us our money and we'll go. And then the money didn't quite come through, and of course they weren't happy with that, which, can you blame them? Not really.
Yeah. Right.
But what is great for them is that over the past couple of days, they've started what's called Nomad TV, which is their new channel. It's basically like the son of ESL Brazil TV. Of course, there is still ESL Brazil TV, but it's...
Right, of course.
Yeah. And they recently got, I think yesterday, actually, they got sub mode on their Twitch channel. Like, already.
Ooh, that's good.
So
that is really good.
Growing out of the box. So definitely go check them out, guys. They're covering Star Ladder. I know they were covering American Dota League as well tonight.
Right, you said Nomad TV. I'm actually going to link afterwards. So we got Nomad TV, we got TLDR. Just writing down some notes to make sure. And Revo, could you please give us a little bit more insight as to the community as far as the Brazilian community, relative to the viewers? How is the Brazilian community? Because, like I said, a lot of people have the same stereotype with Russians and Brazilians, the same exact one, that, oh, Brazilian player bad, Russian player bad, and rages. So could you please dispel some of that, or maybe affirm some of that if it's true, relative to what you've seen? How's the Brazilian scene?
I think there's two sides to it. There's the professional side and the unprofessional side. And like the players that, if you're playing on US East and you run into a pack of Brazilians, a wild, rabid pack of Brazilians, okay? They're probably not the same guys that are playing in these high-up leagues. And I mean, I see these comments on Reddit all the time that make me furious, like, somebody's talking about Brazilian Dota, and someone responds, no one wants to see these guys. I wouldn't buy a ticket just to see two Brazilian teams feed each other. I can just watch a pub for that. Or watch the pubs I'm playing. And I'm like, you haven't watched these teams, you don't know. Like, yeah, pubs go bad every day. Okay, Dindy can play pubs, and guess what? He doesn't win all of them.
Very true.
So, you basing your expectations of the players on something you've seen in a pub is completely and utterly wrong. Because, I mean, I'm a bad player. And I can say, hey, I'm an American. Are you going to go say, wait, you're an American and you play bad, so Arteezy must be bad. Even though he's Canadian, he's from the same area. Okay, we'll just go with that. So I think that's a problem stereotype. And most of the people on my stream understand that, like, they don't want to just hop on US East, queue for English, and then not know how to speak a word of English. Because it's just rude. Like, there's a point where I think a lot of people aren't understanding that this is a team game. You can't just hop on and not communicate. This isn't StarCraft. You can't play it by yourself. If it was, sure, have fun. But, like, even on stream, and I may know that I've got Brazilian viewers there, I will get angry at people. I won't really rage at them. But, like, the other day, I got queued up with 4 Spanish speakers, and I'm like, guys, why not just queue for your own language? And make it better for all of us. And that's one of the things that these pro players are understanding. The other thing is that they're suffering because of it too, because there's this stereotype out that, oh, it's Brazilian players and they're bad. And yeah, sure, they're not where the European scene is, but they're getting much better, and I honestly think that CMB, THD, and a couple other teams that are just really starting up.
CMB is Setinelis. Is that them, right?
One more time?
CMB is Setinelis, and THD is The House is Down?
CMB is not Setinelis, I don't think.
That's why I'm all over the place. All right, what does CMB stand for?
I actually don't know. They're a League of Legends team initially that picked up this Dota team, which was formerly known as Swag and Tiger.
Right.
which was formerly known
And
as Keed. But that's
and
like
THD is
old
the house is
school.
down.
Yeah, THD has always been the
Okay.
house is down. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
but those
Just for
guys are
anybody who wanted to
trying
look it up.
to
Just for anybody who wanted to look it up. Go ahead.
they're trying to shake the stereotype of Brazilian Dota and really push ahead. And that's why, like, when people say crap about Brazilian Dota, like, yeah, they might just be trolling and whatever. But this is where we need to say, no, that's not okay. That's racist. Like, it actually is. And it's not okay. And another reason, Diamond just mentioned it in the chat here, one of the reasons why Spanish players play on US East is because there's too much Portuguese on the South American server. Well, it goes both ways there. Because one of the reasons Brazilians play on US East is because there's too much Spanish on the South American server. Because in South America, you've got Brazil and you've got everything else. Brazil speaks Portuguese, everyone else speaks Spanish. And they don't understand each other. So it's kind of like the whole Eastern Europe thing is, like, where there's all these Russians that just queue for English and don't care.
Right, and it's also another thing to that too. I think if you don't choose a language, all languages are selected by default, and a lot of times, I mean, it depends on time of the day. Usually, when I'm playing Dota, it's at the hotspot time where the American team is playing Dota, because, well, it's a convenient time to play Dota.
Yeah.
And the same thing can probably be said about the other scenes in other regions, like when the Russian hour is up, rush hour.
Yeah.
But when that hour is up, there's probably a lot of people queuing, and they don't select languages, and then things happen. People get mad. They make a Reddit post, and then next thing you know, somebody of high profile in Dota community makes a comment about it, and then the whole internet runs with it. So
yeah, and
I can see how it happens.
I mean, there was something that, like, the guys on the GD studio said, like, oh, well, there's these Brazilian teams, they're probably a joke. But, I mean, they were saying, like, we don't actually know, we haven't heard anything out of them, so why would we acknowledge them? And that I understand. Because it's like, like, if you say, I've got this great new team, they're called Hello Kitty Dota, and they're from Africa, I'm gonna be like, are you nuts? Like, I'm not gonna understand that, but people that are saying, no, they must be bad because other Brazilians I've played with are bad.
Right.
That's illogical, because, I mean, I've played with Americans who are bad. I'm not going to assume that other Americans are bad just because of that, you know? So I think it's more a stereotype thing that's a problem.
Yeah, of course. And, as with all stereotypes, I'm of the believer that stereotypes have some truth behind them, and by the some truth, I mean not the super uber glazing blanket that you can place over everybody, but it came from somewhere, and it probably came from some people who were very frustrated, like I said before, because they play at the hotspot hour of another language this time, and then there was a bunch of people who spoke something they couldn't understand. They knew it wasn't Spanish, so they assumed it was Portuguese, and boom, Brazilian.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like a long chain of things that eventually connected to the stereotype that's formed. Because there's also the other stereotype for the Russians, like I said before, and there's some stereotypes about Canadians. But
well, that's that they're really nice, or that they're actually artsy. But
nice.
Yeah, and I'm guilty of it as well. I mean, I already told you guys how the first time they said, "Oh, well, this is Brazilian Dota," I was like, "Wait, what have I done? Oh no, I'm gonna be casting noobs. Oh my god!" And this is at a point where I thought I was pro too. So.
And I mean, you always learn something new, especially as a caster. You always learn that you were bad yesterday. You're much better today.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a really interesting scene, and I mean, shameless plug right here. This weekend we're gonna have the round of 16 for the Zotac Star League, and it's going to have some insane games of it. Like, I want to say CNB plays Void, which is another really highly rated BR team in the first round or so. Rubik plus 4 plays Tango and Dive, and this is a match I'm actually sad is happening so early because they're both like really up and coming teams that have grown so much, and that might be one of the best matches of the entire playoffs. So, but yeah, you can of course check that out on my Twitch this weekend. There'll be a Reddit post. You can actually bet rares on it too, so that'll be exciting, of course.
So my question, because a lot of people are watching this in the future, I mean, also they might want to feel more jealous. How much does a ticket cost?
The ticket is, I want to say $7 US dollars.
$7 US, and that comes with a courier, right?
With a Juggernaut set.
Oh, Juggernaut set. Okay.
Yeah, it's very nice actually. Sadly I don't have the set, but
Oh,
yeah.
us casters, we don't get all the cool
And of
stuff.
course, if you're watching this during like summer 2014 or fall 2014, as far as I know,
Hmm.
we're still going to be doing Star League seasons then, and then a like grand final season in like November, December, which there's been talk about seeing if I could go to Brazil to cast that on land, and I'm like, oh, dream come true, but I don't know.
But
Um,
that's under hush hush. We can't talk about that. It's not official. So let's go ahead and move on to the next question because I
yeah,
really want to ask you this question. We've been talking about the community for a long, long time, and I
yeah,
want to end with this question of the community. It's a continuation of the question actually way before we started talking about the whole issues that Brazilian might be facing here or there. But the growth of the scene, as far as you've seen, you said that it's grown almost exponentially. Do you foresee it growing even bigger in the future and to one day
definitely.
reach the size of the scene of the Americas and then eventually the size of the European scene? Because as far as I know, the European scene is the biggest.
I don't see it reaching the size of the European scene as much as I
Mm-hmm.
see it kind of merging with the North American scene and then
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Mm-hmm.
becoming this just America's scene.
Mm-hmm. Now, my question to you, sorry, my question actually is real fast, because there was somebody who had like a ranking. They were basically talking about the list of like teams, and they put the European scene as like the highest, then you had the Asian scene, and then
Yeah,
Asian scene is the highest, European scene, then you had the American scene, and by America I mean North American, then you had Brazilian and everybody else. No, Russian was in there somewhere. But basically they had like a general generic ranking, and they were
and
saying
Brazilian
that
scene
Brazilian
was
was
at the
like
bottom, right?
towards the bottom. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like towards the bottom, and the American scene was like towards the middle. So do you think having these high profile teams come out like the House is Down, like Void, like CMB, do you think that's going to help push the image of the Brazilian scene as a thing of, oh, these guys are competitive?
I definitely think so. And I mean, I just pulled up the leaderboard right now. Of course, Arteezy's right at the top, but second, and this isn't Brazilian, of course, but Revenge is
Mm-hmm.
Smash, who they're a Chilean team, of course,
Right.
and they're very big.
Mm-hmm.
He's at number 2. He is literally about 100 MMR behind Arteezy. And then if you keep going on down a little bit, you've got King RD, who is, this is not official by any means, but he's kind of rumored to be the replacement for Klotz on CMB, which would be amazing for them. But he's at like
Uh-huh.
21. You've got Tavo, the offlane for CMB, at 33. And then as you keep going down, you're seeing a few more Brazilian players just start to leak in here and really kind of become a figure in the community. And I think that's one of the things that's really important for this scene,
Mm-hmm.
being able to grow and whatnot.
Okay. And
Whoever was on here, I thought.
And I want to make a nice little tangent from this and actually go into another question that's not really Brazilian related, but it's kind of like Dota related and also other games related.
Yeah.
So, Halfamo mentioned that Brazilian Dota on Dota 2 Lounge, question mark. I think it was just asking
Yeah.
about it. But as far as I know, Dota 2 Lounge is where you go ahead and bet your rares and stuff. Is that correct? Or is that where you just chat?
Yeah, that's where you bet
That's
your
betting.
rares, and it's coming this week, and it's going to be so exciting.
Okay. Betting, as far as the scene's growth goes, is that a thing that you feel is pushing the community in the positive direction, or more so like a negative-ish direction? And this is just an open-ended question. I'm not saying that I have any personal views on it. I personally don't like betting, so I guess I do have some bias. But
Yeah.
your view on the whole entire betting to push the scene further?
I really think it's a good thing for the community because as long as it's not real money, because then you can get into other problems like, oh well, I ruined my whole family because I bet all my real money on a Dota team, and then you're just a loser.
Mhm.
Let's be honest. But betting your in-game items, I mean, it's an in-game item. Let's be real, people.
Mhm.
It's not that much at stake, but you still feel like you do have a lot in stake at the team, and then therefore you're more attached to the team, and
Right.
you want to cheer them on. You really want them to win. It also brings in more viewers. Like, I'm just gonna be completely honest. Like, with that Dota 2 Lounge thing, I'm like, oh my goodness, so many viewers are gonna be coming. I'll at least get 5 new followers. I'll finally hit 500 followers on Twitch.
Right.
Twitch.tv/SPRevolution5, just saying.
Nice. Well played.
But I really think it's a very good thing for the game because, I mean, at the end of the day, if you lose all your in-game items, have you really lost anything? Not really.
Well, there's some
Because
sites that claim they bet money.
yeah,
That's the thing.
but I feel like it helps to push the players to play better because they know they have someone depending on them to win, kind of.
Right.
Not
right.
to mention that they're gonna get paid if they win, but
Mm-hmm.
so I definitely think that's a healthy thing for the scene in general.
Okay. So let's go ahead and push on forward. There you go, guys. Revo thinks it's positive. Culblu's being like the Grinch, just like wants to take all your fun away with boringness and wants people to just sit there and watch the game.
He's just mad
But hey,
because he lost
betting-
his rares.
No, I don't bet rares. I just recently started buying things in the store, which oh my gosh, dude, the price difference between stuff in the market versus stuff in it's ridiculous. Anywho, okay.
Okay.
Next question I'll ask you is what other games? No, sorry, skip the question. My bad. Aside from playing Dota, what do you do for fun? This is not video game related.
There's fun outside video games. I mean, I hang out with my girlfriend a lot. I watch a lot of Netflix while I'm playing other video games, so I guess that doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
And of course I have my music to keep me occupied, but that's honestly about it. Like, video games are a really important part of my life, and I like it a lot. I mean, there's not much else to say about that much.
Okay. There's actually a follow-up question I can find in there. I will force the follow-up question out of this because Culblu's the magic question, man.
Okay.
So the question I'll ask you out of this is, video games are important to your life. You mentioned that just now. As far as your kids go, in the near future or far future, depending on when you want to settle down with family and stuff, do you foresee yourself raising your kids to be the ones that play games a lot, or are you going to be more defensive and have them a little bit more sheltered from what you've been, I guess, exposed to? Actually, no. You were kind of a little bit more sheltered. So are you going to be more liberal with your kids' plays in the future?
It depends on the game. Like,
Depends on the
my
game,
mom
okay.
held me back from shooters and Grand Theft Auto, like, a lot, and I think that was definitely a good thing for me, because they can be very addicting because it's, like, bite-sized pieces of gameplay, and it ends up, honestly, becoming mindless violence. Like, it's not gonna be like, oh, I played Call of Duty and I shoot things there, so I'm gonna shoot stuff in real life, like people. No.
And actually, Revo, I'm actually going to pause you and do an interjection real fast. Because with the current trend in video gaming, if we've all been seeing, and probably in the future this might be more true than it is now, but people are starting to get more and more used to playing games like Candy Crush, playing games like Flappy Bird, playing games like Plants vs. Zombies, where it's literally just a bite-sized game. Like, you play it for well, with the exception of Plants vs. Zombies, you play it for 2.5 minutes and then you run out of energy and you have to go do something else.
Plants
So
vs.
do you
Zombies,
foresee
you play it for 2.5 hours and then don't want to ever stop.
Yeah, that's what I said. I kind of take on all of this. But do you foresee yourself protecting your kids more from that as opposed to protecting kids from video games in general? Like, do you see you try to push your kids, say, hey, go play some Doom because this is the old school. It shows you where games came from instead of playing all this bejeweled nonsense.
Bejeweled knockoffs. Yeah. I honestly think the whole new games are good, but in the same way, like, there's a point where it can be too short. And, for instance, if it's, less than 5 minutes of gameplay and you actually feel satisfied like you finished a game there, I feel like you may be missing something in terms of a gameplay element. Or if it's something
Hey,
that,
look, all I gotta say is 1 minute hero. That is amazing. Or 30-second hero?
That's amazing, yeah. Half-minute hero. That's what you're thinking of, right?
Half minute. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. But you have 30 seconds, yeah, but you play that in longer spans of time. You don't sit down and play a 30-second match and say, oh, well, I'm done. No. But I think the real problem with gaming that's coming in the future is these, Farmville things, where it's like, oh, I'm playing a game because I'm planting crops, but you're spending 5 minutes playing and then 3 hours, waiting for your crops to harvest. And the question becomes, well, what are you really doing?
Yes, and quick lesson. Do you mind if I throw some knowledge at everybody?
Sure.
Hey, Revo, actually, this question. Do you know why that is like that? And just, you can either say no or give, a brief
Because they
explanation.
want to make money off of it?
No, that is not really correct. Originally, what it was basically, the people who made Farmville, which is kind of where it all started, they were trying to build it around your Facebook habits. So people, when they go to Facebook, look at it for 3 minutes, check all the statuses, and then they go about the day. Hour later, they come back, check their Facebook stuff, and then they go about their day. So basically, they have this cycle thing going on, just normal people. So
Yeah.
what they do is they said, okay, we're going to build a game to get just enough of their attention so they can actually say, okay, 2 minutes, buy your crops, and make it part of your routine for Facebook. And once you do that, then it basically gets ingrained in your mind. You say, okay, I have Farmville in about 3 hours. I got to wait for 3 hours for this crop. And then you come back in 3 hours to Facebook, and then you do Farmville and Facebook. That's
Yeah.
more time for the advertisers to get guaranteed views. That's more attempts that they'll have to get you to click on things. And it's more attempts they'll have you get to buy things. So that's what
And
that
I think
originally
that's
came out of.
I think that's a really bad thing because it's
Mhm.
it's taking thought out of the game because all you're doing is saying, okay, they say this crop goes here, so I'm just going to put it here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, why are you doing that? Well, because I want more crops. Why? So I can make more gold to buy other crops and then use those to make more gold. And it's just an endless cycle of what is this helping you with in real life, really?
Yeah.
Scheduling your time around a virtual game because that's not helping you with real life.
Well, it is helping real life. It's conditioning you to buy more virtual things.
Yeah, which can be a bad thing.
All I gotta say is that Dota market. Come on, you spent money
Oh,
there.
yeah.
You spend real money on virtual things.
Yeah.
You can't
And I
deny
can
it.
understand that. It's just it's a touchy subject for me.
It is. It is a very touchy subject. And guys, boom! Culblu just expanded a question that ended in like 5 seconds to like 5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, what other games do you play?
I play pretty much anything I can get my hands on. The only thing I really haven't sunk much time to is like WoW and big MMOs like that. But I'm really into Hearthstone. I'm really into action RPGs like Path of Exile, and now that the expansion has fixed the game, Diablo 3. Which those are like, instead of Dota where I actually have to think about it, they're strategic, but it's like my chill out game where I can just zone out and kill stuff. Like, I don't have to think about anything. I can just relax, and yes, I'm killing monsters and they're dying, and that's cool.
It's less intense than Dota.
In a different way, yeah. I still think it's very intense, but more in a
Mechanical
way. And of course, I mean, I play a lot of single player stuff, like the Batman games,
BioShock.
Bioshock, yeah, like the classic like campaign story focused games, of course, and of course StarCraft.
Okay.
I mean, you can't not play StarCraft.
Yes, you can. You
No,
can do like me, and I love Brute War, but
No, you
oh
can't.
my gosh, Blizzard split it
No,
into
you
3
can't.
parts. I was like, nope.
You
F
can't.
all this. I'm walking away. Excuse me,
You
guys.
can't.
Excuse my language. I did it. I had to.
can't.
I had to. I'm too broke. I can't pay $40 for the same game. That's not cool. 3 times.
3 times? You mean
Yeah.
2 times?
No, 3 times. The expansion packs. The
There's
last one was
only
gonna be a
one.
Protoss. The last one's gonna be a Protoss.
Yeah, but it's not out.
I know, but it's still gonna be a thing in the future.
Okay, Culblu.
Well, it's totally true. They broke it into 3 parts, and I was very sad. I was like, dude, just give me one game, and then give me like Brute War again. That worked out. 'Cause
Blizzard always
I
has
bought
a
the whole
lot of
thing.
content into their expansions, though.
Yeah, I'll give him that. I'll give him
Yeah.
that. Because was Heart of Swarm came with its own little campaign for the Zerg, and it also had a lot of new units, which changed the whole entire game.
Yeah. The campaign for the Zerg was so easy. If you'd ever played
No spoilers.
Zerg.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
No, like, if you've played Zerg, you need to crank the difficulty up to the max, because it is like...
Just win.
Like,
Just
there's one
what?
mission where they pretty much give you, like, 80 Zerglings right at the start and say, hey, can you kill stuff with these? And I'm like, how many? Don't you know that I play
Control
multiplayer? Like,
So, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But dude, technically, campaign is the extended training mode. We all know this.
Yeah. And it was really a multiplayer patch that was bigger. Anyways.
Right. Okay. So moving on. Actually, no. Yes. Moving on. So, do you have any interesting talents that you would be okay with telling the internet?
I can actually juggle. I haven't done it in a while. Of course,
Ooh,
I've
how
played-
many? How many is your max? What's your max?
I've tried 5. I can't remember if I ever actually pulled off 5, but I mostly stuck with
Hmm.
3. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Now,
And
Do you juggle like just normal juggling balls, or do you juggle like the whole entire pins and stuff?
I've done the pins. I haven't done knives or anything flaming or something, but yeah, I was really into it
Uh-huh.
around middle school. So
Chainsaws? Chainsaws?
no,
Come on, chainsaws!
no.
Come on, come on, come on, pass it to me. I got this. I got this.
I'm a
Come on.
pianist and a gamer. My fingers are very valuable.
Well played, well played. So you can juggle, and you play the piano, and you play games.
Yeah, pretty much.
One
Um,
more talent. There's got to be one more talent.
I've done some like short story writing that I'd have to dig up from the depths of a closet somewhere to actually. I'd have to bring it out of the closet
Are
to
we
show you anyway.
are we talking slash fiction or fan fiction?
Not fan fiction. Like
Oh.
original short story kind of stuff.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. You made it up yourself. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, cool.
completely.
All right.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that's about
That
it.
it?
I'm pretty good looking, but
Hey,
well,
that's not a talent. That's a natural thing. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. I have the same problem, man. I
yeah,
have the
I
same
know.
problem.
It's a rough disability to live with, right?
Yeah, just walk down the streets and the ladies just fall all over you because you tripped them. But let's not talk about that part. I actually did trip a lady today. It was an accident. She's
Mm-hmm.
okay. She's okay. It was just like a little.
Okay.
It wasn't a trip. It was a stumble. It was just okay. Revo, do you have any shoutouts that you would like to make? And please, please feel free to make any and all shoutouts.
To everyone that has watched this interview, because you guys are clearly the best. To all the people that like help me moderate my chat. I mean, to like Stylus Pie, Packer Crunch. You guys know you're the pub crew. Even though we haven't played in like 2 weeks, which is ridiculous. We need to fix
Mhm.
that. Um, like Waffle, Nero, Yafs, um, Igor, the guys that are usually in chat, hanging out, Kifty,
Mhm.
to pretty much every one of the Brazilian players except Plock Ambiana.
Why so much hate?
It's kind of become an inside joke. There was a game the other weekend that me and Dragon Drop did where he
Mhm.
they lost to CMB, and instead of calling GG, he said Ambiana, which is the Brazilian or Portuguese word for tomorrow, and meaning we'll see you guys tomorrow at the grand final after we come out of the lower bracket. Then they went down to the lower bracket and got stomped.
Oh
And
man.
so the next day, CMB comes into the game with their player name, and then it says like Ambiana. Like, yeah, tomorrow we remember. The best part was though, while they were getting stomped, like I
Mhm.
remember specifically Tavo and Klotz got item drops
Oh
for
wow.
Insights players getting killed. It was like the most ironic ever. And of course,
The most
all of you
awkward with
guys
that.
to with the caster group who've helped me out
Mhm.
so much and everything, and the ESL Brazil guys, and the ex ESL Brazil guys. So Skiat, Pocoto, PDS,
Zotac?
Splendor, Joe,
The
and of
Zotac
course,
people?
the lovely admin Gabby, who
Yes.
is the best ever, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've missed someone, and whoever
You
that
totally
is.
missed the love of your life. Come on, man. You
Oh,
must say generic shout out to your girlfriend.
yes, I shout out at her at the beginning, but she is the best, no matter if
Mhm.
she's supporting me or not on this day of the week.
And see,
Sometimes
there
I
you go,
can get a
guys.
little
Guys,
obsessive.
and ladies. For all the ladies out there who want a Revo's heart, it's already taken.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry. Yeah,
Sorry, your
the
princess
first
is in
day I
another
had all
castle.
those viewers, there was somebody like, Revo, have my babies. I was like, and to Drake Bell for letting me use his likeness as my own face.
Oh, fancy. Oh, also, that's another thing. Revo, you have the interview running on your live stream, correct?
Yes.
And you have a webcam, right?
Yes.
Okay, last time somebody did this, I'm not gonna name any names, but
Renessa?
Castnet got like 50 views, and Renessa's video got like 150. So I
Well,
don't know what it is about people in webcams, but guys, Revo has the webcam. You can check it out there if you want. It'll be linked in the description below. I
yeah.
probably should have mentioned it earlier so we have more people can go to watch his stuff. But seriously though, go watch it on his also, so you can see his beautiful face. No homo. Because Castnet's all
Oh
about
yes,
promoting
Soma.
the actual caster, not ourselves though. We're perfect. You guys giving them 100 viewers, but we appreciate you guys giving us like 2 at least, please.
Yeah. And don't forget the Star League this weekend. It's going to be on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/SBRevolution5. It's going to be some awesome Dota. It's going to start, I think, Friday night, like 7 p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
Which, relative to the future, this would be like a long time ago, but okay.
Yeah. And then, like, all day Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be pretty exciting, though.
Oh, yes, and also shout out to Halfamok. He got a lot of views, and he actually fielded a lot of those. I think he fielded them towards Castnet, which is great. And he said without a webcam. I'm going to just assume he said without webcam.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's totally what he said. But Repo, last thing I'm going to ask you. Well, next to the last thing I'm going to ask you is where can people find you if they really want to find your stuff?
We talked about this before, but I'll be glad to make a shameless plug again. Of course, twitch.tv/SBRevolution5. Twitter is SBRevolution5 and Facebook at SBRevolution5Dota.
And YouTube.
Oh, yes, and YouTube at SBRevolution5, which eventually will have some actual content, not just random videos.
Mm-hmm.
But you can at least see the list of videos I've liked and commented on recently. So, that's great.
Yes, that's always interesting. That's always creepy and interesting. So there you go, guys. The links are right there in front of your face. Hopefully I spelled everything right, because I totally had a typo when I was doing this earlier. But I think all those are fixed. So those links you guys see there will be right. And if anything, the links in the description below will be perfectly fine. So definitely go check him out. Like I said, he has the video getting recorded, or this interview getting recorded on his side. So I'll link his video to it. You're going to put this on YouTube.
I'll just probably go ahead and post it to YouTube.
Okay. So I'll put that YouTube link below so you guys can see that if you want to. And see his awesome face. And he totally looks like somebody I know in my real life. His name's Kevin, and it's weird. I look at you like, you're Kevin. Stop lying. But you're not Kevin.
Nope.
Kevin's cooler. Oh, shots fired.
Yeah, and on those shots, I guess that's the end of our interview here.
Yes, that will be close to the end of our interview. We have one last thing for you to do for us, Revo.
Is this a surprise? Okay.
Would you please say goodbye to all the beautiful people out there, please?
Oh. Well, I will see you guys later. Thank you all for watching, and hope you have a great evening, afternoon, whatever time of day it is when you're watching this.
Mm-hmm. And with that, we'll go ahead and cut the interview there. Guys, my name is Culblu. I was watching guys this interview of our esteemed guest, Revo. So thank you, Revo, for joining us. Don't forget, Casters Network is the YouTube page that all this is on, so you can check this interview out and all the other interviews that we've had. This is interview number 18, if I'm not mistaken. Or, sorry, too high.
Something like that.
Either 15 or 16. I don't know. This is why I usually don't say the numbers, because I always get confused. But it's interview number something. And we have all kinds of interviews up there. Also, check out Castnet for other things, such as eventually, and hopefully by the time this video gets posted, we'll actually get started on that. Caster tips, so we can help people have better quality in their casting, because we've seen a lot of things that we feel like we can help people out with as Castnet Network.
Stuff, man.
And there's also a bunch of things that Castnet offers, so go ahead and check out Castnet.
Yeah.
Definitely go check out Revo. Check out his stuff. He covers Brazilian Dota, which is unique, because I think he's one of the only casters that I know aside from him, Pokido, or I keep pronouncing his name right. Poketo.
He's number 16.
And oh really?
Yeah. Have else got you covered.
And also like 3 other people who are also in the circle of casters that I know that cast Brazilian Dota. And I feel like Brazilian Dota needs more coverage, needs more people to get the name out there, and needs people to help bring that image up, guys. Try to be positive with your scenes, please. The Russian scene as well, same thing.
On Reddit.
Yes, don't flame Brazil on Reddit. Just because you're angry doesn't mean you can just say, oh man, all Brazilians are horrible, because that's totally not fair. Totally not fair. So anyway, with all that said, like I said, we just watched you guys this interview of Revo, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it there before I say anything else, because I feel like I can talk forever. So hey guys, hope you guys enjoyed the interview, and we'll see you guys whenever.